right. We got
Gold medalist,
Wilkins.
Montreal, 1976. A student and a teacher. He will show you the skills you must learn and the
Olympic
gold
champ,
medalist, Montreal,
76.
1976. A student and a teacher.
I think one of the crazy things is this is what these guys were back in the day when they didn't have YouTube. They had, VHS, barely. The fact that these guys had good, solid movement and they were the pioneers figuring out the technique, figuring out what to do. So let's watch what he does. Sort of falls in a little bit out of the back with that left hip opening up. And then that leads to that over rotation. So it's actually, this is a good angle because that left shoulder stays inside here, inside of that quad. He sort of falls in just a little, but then his right comes down a little across the circle, a little over rotated. I always like that left here. And one thing I want to point out is like right here as he starts to square up, he really starts to get forward into that left. And this is where like that older style, he had this like big lift and extends that right here. He extends that, which isn't, you don't really see that as much anymore, that right extension. And that leads to that sort of old school, almost like a glide reverse from back in the day. But you just watch him move in his rhythm back then, and if you watch a lot of throws from Mac Wilkins, they all look very, very similar. And this is, I believe he was sort of the leader behind starting to really focus on that long right leg that sweeps to the center coming around. So that was stuff that, was pretty much unheard of. A lot of people were sweeping with that knee forward. And then, the right foot sort of shuts down a little bit and he extends up, but he still just smashes. Look at the right shoulder. Like, look at how strong his right side, right shoulder is coming forward to just absolutely destroy that throw. So 1976 Olympic champ, did just phenomenal stuff. And I would say here, it's like, if I'd be critical, he could have come over with that left a little bit wider here. Almost like his start here actually sort of reminds me of Harding. Harding would get a little bit wider around that right, and Harding's right would come down right about there, a little bit earlier. But you can see the similarities, and you can see too, it's just like not having YouTube, not having access to cell phones and stuff, and what these guys did was just incredible. And it's good these guys are still around coaching. Max worked with Ehsan Haddadi quite a bit, and a lot of other prominent throwers, and continues to contribute to the sport. Worked at the OTC, worked with Ryan Krauser, and it's fun to watch these throws because you can see what he threw like, and then what he's coaching now, and almost the similarities and the improvements too. So, I'd say his right could have come down a little bit earlier. If his right foot came down earlier, he likely would have come around that left a little bit more out of the back. His right could have rotated, bent a little bit more. You can see it gets almost like a flat right foot in the middle, but then just continues to smash forward on that finish. So if you want more information about discus throwing, head over to throwsuniversity.com. Until next time, peace.